We have over 20 questions to go over. I do not know what they have to say.
When it came to Tenfold's world and the real world, everything that led up to that point gave you a real reality check rather than a twist.
What is going on, DCBLHILLS family, aka the Hillside? In today's video, we are going to be asking 100 people their opinions on my new short film, Tenfold. But here's the twist. These 100 people are complete strangers. When I say I went to the depths of the depths to find these people, we tried Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter just to find the most frequently asked questions about my film. And we're gonna get to the bottom of everything that was done right and wrong with no spoilers. So if you enjoy this video and you're enjoying the content that DCBLHILLS is producing, leave a comment, leave a like, say what you have to say. We appreciate it. So with that being said, let's get straight to the video. Shout out to all the Hillsiders and all the people who are watching. All right, for this part of the video, we're gonna be talking about audience-based questions. All right, first one from Instagram. Mason Films asked, how did the idea of Tenfold begin?
I think Tenfold really started with how it ended and it being pickpocketing, that being kind of random. When it came to bringing three characters together, there was so much opportunity, but definitely some things that could have gone wrong very easily.
From Reddit by user FrameByFrame21. What did you want people to feel within the first 5 minutes?
Definitely uncertainty. Them not knowing what was next, but finding clarity for what happened next, tying it in. Entire timeline story of Tenfold was very important to me.
And from Twitter, user Cinema After Dark, how much of Tenfold is actually about misdirection?
I feel like misdirection is definitely a big part of Tenfold, but not in the way that people would think I would answer. As we see throughout the film, there's many timelines as we jump through years of 2005, 2006, and 2007, and 2004. That being said, that was on purpose. It being a story that I didn't want to take a stepping type of format when it came to the timeline, but rather puzzle pieces having to be put together in order for people to understand once everything happens in the end.
And from Instagram, Jordan.mov, what did the audience deserve to know versus figure out?
Tenfold as a whole was never about giving the audience exactly what they wanted to hear in the moment, but rather what they needed to see get just enough of the story to keep them on their toes. Taking away some things that could have made the story obvious, but would have made it easier, was a decision I had to make from the very beginning.
These next group of questions are all based on the storyline of Tenfold. From Reddit user, Shot Reverse Shot. What is the most detailed part of Tenfold?
When you watch Tenfold, there's a lot of things that may feel hidden. That crime being pickpocketing, there's so much detail and meticulous things going on that, you know, something like the sleight of hand or a quick cut, a reason for a scene going longer, a scene being cut at the moment that it did. It really is about giving the audience just enough information to keep them within the story, but also guessing about what could possibly happen next. Because we're bouncing through so many different timelines of the story that it was only necessary to only give audiences so much because we had to come back to it later. From
Twitter user Film Noir Files, why isn't Tenfold told chronologically?
Definitely grabbing things from back here to right here and bringing them in and tying them in is a lot of how it's told. And I didn't want the audience to be confused, but I wanted them to have an experience.
From Instagram, @TheFilmBro, why was the timeline told in minutes and hours versus days and weeks?
Being engaged is a huge thing in film, of course. So also not just giving them the bland answer of what a typical movie would, and really making it feel like an investigative case with hours, minutes, seconds. These kinds of things are unique when it came to my film. Things that you wouldn't see in everyday, non-linear and chronologically weird timelines in movies.
All right, for these next group of questions, it's all gonna be character-based. So Donson, Scottie, and Trace. All right, from Reddit user, Indie Film Talk, what do you want the audience to assume about Donson?
So Donson was definitely a character that felt like just belonged from the beginning. There were so many things about Donson that just made sense to me when I was writing the film. Him being this very slick, perfect demeanor, handling a situation well, even though throughout the film when we watch it, it seems like there's a lot of things that he has to take care of about himself. It seems like he's also carrying everyone that's in a room with him.
Ever been in a trunk before?
I feel like that is definitely the message Donson brings from the beginning. And I'd just like to say shout out to Jove for playing his part and really putting on performance.
From X user, Noir Nerd, how much did Donson really know versus what we thought he knew?
Now, this question's interesting. Donson definitely is someone who's cryptic with his whereabouts and what he knows. And as you watch the film, I just hope you definitely pay attention to this, specifically how Donson carries himself when he's the one with his back against the wall. And that's what I'll say about that.
From Instagram user, @cinemaclub.jpg, what makes Trace different from how the audience initially perceives him?
Yeah, I think Trace has definitely just this likability factor in a weird way. He's just this crazy guy. I feel like Broden definitely put his front foot forward with taking that role and going out of his way to make such a insane character make sense once again.
Really nothing much separating you from us, is it?
His likability, when he's on screen, you definitely feel his presence. The one that needs to be running tenfold. We come to find out why that is.
And from Reddit user, Indie Film Fan, why was Scottie so significant to Tenfold?
Man, I think Scottie was someone that was probably the hardest to write out as a character. I know a lot of people may feel like he was misunderstood, not a lot of explanation to him in the beginning because of his entrance when you watch the film. As the story goes on, it's almost like he becomes more of the relatable character and more of the one that pushes the narrative. And he does it in such a way where he doesn't have to be the loudest in the room, but he's definitely there.
And these last two are bonus questions I've added in. From X user, Movies with Maya, what will the audience feel once Tenfold is ended?
To me, when I wrote and finished it and all said was done, I feel like when the audience watches that last few scenes, if you think about it and you put the story together, a lot of people will relate to the decisions that have been made up until that point.
And last but not least, from Instagram user @RealByReal, if someone watched Tenfold a second time, would they experience it differently?
Well, absolutely. Here's what I will say. If you are going to watch Tenfold from this video, my number one thing is pay attention.
That will cap off the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to all the strangers that commented and asked these questions. And shout out to all the Hillsiders.